Hello there, this is Lego Dynasty, and today I'm bringing you guys my review of the LEGO Harry Potter Hogwarts Dumbledore's Office. It's set number 76402, comes with 654 pieces, and is rated ages 8 and up. Now this set retails in the United States for $79.99 and in Canada for $99.99. Now without further ado, let's kick off this review, starting with the box. Taking a look at the box, you can see Dumbledore's office right front and center in the sort of field and forest areas that Hogwarts is located in. You of course have Harry, Hermione, and Ron on the side there, which looks pretty nice. You have your minifigures displayed on the bottom, 6 figures plus a cat build or a mold included in this set, which is pretty good. Flipping the box around, you can see some of the main, play features, if you want to call it that, or just places you can place your characters, as you can see, which looks pretty nice. Taking a look at the manual, as you can see, it is a rendered image, which, again, I'm always going to say, I just am not a fan of. I don't find that these do the sets justice anymore, but at the end of the day, it doesn't take away anything from the built-in experience. Now, what's nice about the manual is it does show all the sets that you combine to create the large Hogwarts, as you can see at the top here. So I believe I have all of them, and so I plan to eventually, I think I still have to review the Battle of Hogwarts set, along with maybe a couple others. But I plan to build all these and combine them into one large Hogwarts, because I just think that would be really awesome. But as you can see, it looks very, very cool there when it's all built and put together with all these different sets, as you can see here. Here you can see the extra pieces I was left with following the build. Quite a few studs and, 1x1 tiles, brick separator, and of course, extra wand pieces. So again, all nice to add to your collection for free. Take a look at our first minifigure. We have Severus Snape, and overall, he looks pretty cool, I have to say. Really like the torso print with his purple and black and white. Looks pretty nice. No arm or leg printing on him, and back print looks pretty standard there with yeah, it looks pretty fine. You can take off his hairpiece to reveal a double-sided face with him, of course, being a bit more mad, as we see with Severus quite often during the Harry Potter films. So overall, pretty nice figure. Moving on to our next minifigure, and probably one of the nicer ones included in the set, we have Madame Pince, and she looks pretty awesome. She has a great torso going down to the dress piece. As you can see, very nicely printed, and yeah, there's the little gap, but I think overall it still looks pretty awesome there. See the back print does have a really nice molded sort of witch's hat piece, which looks pretty nice. But it also has this spot for you to place this, feather burrow piece. So that's pretty nice and very easy to reattach. She does have a double-sided face print, as you can see, just like that. And yeah, this is definitely a very nice figure. Next, we have Argus Finch, who's the groundskeeper of Hogwarts, of course, and always, seems always grumpy, especially during the films. So definitely a nice figure to have included. Has a really nice sort of molded piece to represent how he's sort of balding at the top, which I think looks pretty decent. I mean, it's definitely not perfect, but I still like it overall. Does have a nice torso going down to leg print, which is pretty nice to see, and also has some back printing, and again also has a double-sided face with him, smirking, probably because he's caught a student outside their dorms at night when they're supposed to be in bed. Next, we have Mr. Finch's cat, and I can't remember what he's called, but this is a cat that gets petrified during, I believe it was the second book or movie, so and he is very distraught about it. So definitely a nice molded character to have included. Very nicely printed with the eyes, looking a bit sort of evil, I have to say, with the orange eyes, but still pretty nice overall. Our next character is Hermione Granger, and she looks pretty good overall. She has the stubby legs, so these are not opposable at all. And as you can see, has great torso print, pretty standard. You also see the back there. Does have a double-sided face of her being a little bit more upset or scared. And overall, pretty nice character. Next up, we have Albus Dumbledore. And again, fantastic figure. This is probably the highlight of the set, which makes sense that they would go all out, considering the set is named Dumbledore's Office. So I just love the print, and I will take off his beard to show off the torso print a little bit better. But as you can see, the really nice flowing white hair, does have a double-sided face. But of course, with his beard, you can't really see him, his face prints. So I'll just take off the beard piece. And as you can see, the torso print as well as his sort of a face smile, which looks pretty nice. Both of them are smiling, one a smile, one more of a smirk. And you can get a nice look at the torso print as well, which looks fantastic. And finally, we have Harry Potter. And what's interesting is, as you can see, he has on this sort of cape thing. This is supposed to represent his invisibility cloak. So that's pretty cool overall. Obviously, it doesn't make him look invisible, but it's sort of meant to symbolize that. And I think overall, it's a perfectly fine way to showcase that, rather than them just, making a translucent or, clear Harry Potter figure. Like, I don't think LEGO would ever want to do that. So I think overall this makes a lot of sense to do it this way, where it's just a cloak that, yes, isn't making him look invisible at all, but it gives the impression that, it would be. My one main gripe with it is I feel like they should have included some sort of hood piece, or made this fabric piece to be able to have a hood to cover his face to represent when he has his face off. I know there is a scene where his head is showing, and that's probably what they're going for, but still would have been nice to be able to, reenact essentially him being cloaked fully. So that's just a gripe from me, but it's not super necessary overall, since I know what they were trying to go for. Of course, you can take it off and see the fabric from the other side, which looks like this, which is pretty nice. So you could technically flip it the other way around, of course. But of course, one way is meant to be him being invisible. So that's why I left it like that. But it's still a very nice fabric piece overall. And just showing, your typical Harry Potter figure. Again, just like Hermione, stubby legs, so you can't oppose them. But pretty standard print there, and it does have a double-sided face. And lastly, before we get into the build itself, these are the 3 Hogwarts portraits that I was left with. Of course, this was something they did during, the release of all these sets. They all kind of had different ones apparently, or at least allowed you to collect a bunch of them to put onto like a certain promo set that had like space for them, I believe was what the deal with these was. So overall, pretty nice little prints, of course, and nice to add to your collection. Now taking a look at Dumbledore's office, just from the outside, as you can see, it looks very cool overall. Definitely captures the look of Hogwarts quite well. Just zooming in, you can see, different spaces that you can place your characters. You have some nice detail with the greenery and plants. You have this really nice sticker element here that looks really awesome, I have to say. Just really looks cool, I guess is all I have to say about it. You can see, sort of different sections. You have this nice sticker up here to represent the house of, or the different houses of Hogwarts, which looks pretty nice overall. Flipping the set around, because that's the bulk of the set, is what's on the other side. And you can see some, you have the sword here, which I believe is meant to be the Sword of Gryffindor. You also have, this spot here where you can place memories, the pensieve for characters to see memories, which looks pretty awesome. You have what is actually Dumbledore's office, which looks pretty cool. You also have the sorting hat here, which I will grab. And it looks pretty cool, and it is actually molded with the, sort of face of the sorting hat, which I just think is absolutely awesome. In addition, you also have Dumbledore's Phoenix to the side here. It's just a little bird mold, but still, that's awesome to have included there. Taking a look at the lower levels, you have some seating areas that, again, can all sort of close inward, as you can see, just like that. Or you can have it open up to, give yourself more room to see inside. But the main thing is you can sort of see it already, but you have these books that can actually pop out, which is pretty cool. So best way to show it is just like that. Like you can see they have popped out as I knocked the top of the set off, but that's okay. As you can see, so that's pretty nice, sort of bookshelf there, and you can get another look at Dumbledore's office itself, different, how it looks, and
Looks pretty
Now,
cool.
of course, one thing to show off is, of course, you can take off the different sections if you need to, have different, want to, display it a little bit differently. You have that ability, so you can pop off the top here with the sword, and then you have this section here with the pensieve, which, as you can see, looks pretty cool there. And then you also can pop off this whole section here of Dumbledore's office, which again all looks like that. And then you have, a lot more room that you can see into. So like I said, you have these books that can pop out. So my best way of showing it is just like that. As you can see, them just hanging out there. And then, like I said, you can push them back in. The other way, of course, is through this front area here. So it pulls out like that. So to make it a little bit more hidden. So again, you can just go like that and to show it. So that's a pretty fun feature that they did here to represent, the books flying off the shelves or showing which ones they need to look at. You get some more nice detail, as you can see. Looks pretty nice overall there. Again, taking another look at Dumbledore's office itself, as you can see, looks very nice. You have, of course, one of these printed cards here, which looks pretty nice. Of course, there is room. You can place Dumbledore if you want, so I'll do that just to show. Won't show all the seats, as they are pretty standard and would obviously work, but just to show how it looks with Dumbledore inside his seat. Looks just like that, as you can see, so definitely pretty nice there. And you can see, what I assume to be our bookshelves in the back, which looks pretty nice. And again, you can see Fox and the sorting hat. Overall, one of the main things about this whole sort of subline, I'd call it, of Harry Potter, because now they're starting to redo it again. But the main thing was, combining all the sets at once. On their own, the sets themselves are pretty plain, but when you put them all together, it looks really awesome. And that's something I'm definitely going to do. I still have to build a couple more of them, and then I'm going to have, it all combined into one large Hogwarts, which I think is going to look absolutely outstanding. So that's something to look forward to. But on its own, yeah, the set is kind of plain. It's nice to have 6 figures, but definitely feels like at its price point, it's at least $10, maybe even $20 overpriced for what it's giving you. But when all put together, it definitely looks awesome. So very easy, again, to place the sets back together, as you can see. So just place it on like that. Like that. And finally, like that. And you're good to go. The LEGO Harry Potter Hogwarts Dumbledore's Office, to me, is a pretty nice addition to this subline of Harry Potter sets that, of course, like I said, combine into one large Hogwarts. On its own, the set is perfectly okay. Definitely feels slightly overpriced for what it is overall giving you, but even then, I still think if your plan is to combine all these sets together, like I showed at the back of the manual, this is definitely one to pick up just so you have that ability to do so. I think the minifigures overall are pretty good, with Madame Prince, Argus Finch, and Albus Dumbledore being the standouts in this set, with, a pretty standard Severus, Harry Potter, and Hermione also included. Would have been nice if we had, one other character included at least, or even 2, perhaps, just including Ron as well, and one other character that we don't normally get. Would have been really nice to have included in a set like this. But on its own, I think this set is perfectly okay. Just one to get on sale. Though I will say that this set is probably going to be retiring relatively soon. I feel like it's been out for a while. So definitely one to look out for sales if you're planning on getting it. But I definitely think it's worth it if you've gotten the other Harry Potter sets that all combine together. With that being said, that's all my opinion. Let me know your thoughts on the LEGO Harry Potter Hogwarts Dumbledore's Office. Have you guys picked up the set, or are you planning to? Have you picked up the other Harry Potter sets and started to put them together? Let me know. Please like and subscribe if you have enjoyed, and have a great day, everyone.